All right, welcome everybody. Let's just test to see whether everything is working, and then we'll get started here. All right, so just waiting to see if everything's good. Just making sure that I can see that here, and once everything's good, we'll get started again. All right, I think we got this. All right, welcome everybody. In this webinar, we're going to be making a whole new game. It's going to be the same kind of game that the minimalist of the minimalist kind. So if you haven't, you can pre-order Remember Lights Out. And remember, this is a game where they use light as a resource, and it's actually a pretty awesome game. We built it in 2 sessions, and you can go ahead and pre-order it on the App Store right now. Just a note, by the way, one thing I love about Construct games is they're not big if they don't need to be. Like, it's a fairly simple game, and it's only 10 megabytes. And this makes a lot of sense. We do talk about HTML5 games a lot here on the channel. And, you know, escape code was a challenge to get under 100. But anyway, Remember Lights Out is available for pre-order. Do pre-order it as much as you can. This is one thing that Apple has done now. And I highly recommend that you, if you're thinking about making a game, go ahead and pre-order that. Or set it to pre-order, because once you kick in, the sales of your pre-order charts you. So that's also awesome. All right. You can take a look at Escape Code Coding Adventure if you don't know. It's a really awesome game. Big news with Escape Code coming later. Don't want to spoil it right now, but I will. Talk about it once the news does come out. You can also see Pluvo is roughly 10 megabytes here, and then Escape Code for iOS here, as you can see, is like 139. So, you know, quite a bit of a difference. Okay. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and pledge for this Kickstarter. This is probably one of the best game courses Mammoth Interactive has ever made. I'm really excited about it, like really excited that that we're doing this. Basically because we're making almost 5 or 6 major courses in here that deal with multiplayer and battle royale, a battle royale type game. And of course, we get to see everybody. Well, in our games, we get to make the code and do the art as well, which I think is actually quite good. A lot of other companies that do what we do don't do that. All right, so we have levels here, and the $49 level has a lot of multiplayer in it, and I'm pretty happy about that. Multiplayer is very complicated, and the fact that it works at all is quite impressive, right? So in any event, let's take a look. I don't think that there's anything else. Mostly it has to do with the Kickstarter. That's what's happening at Mammoth. There's a lot of other cool stuff that happens in Mammoth. I like to talk about it when they're out. So, but this is mostly it at this point in time. Mammoth itself is always good because I love building a business, etc. It's very awesome. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the. We're going to take a look at the game first here, and then we will. And then we'll move forward. Okay. So first things first, let's take a look at the game. The game. Now I don't have a name for this game yet, but I will. Right now it's just called Tile Map. So it needs a name, but we'll eventually get to it. So the idea with this is that there are 2 platforms that you need to get onto. Okay. So you can see that you know, there's one platform like that here, and in this tutorial I haven't actually made anything. I haven't actually made a lot with this, so I'm actually going to show you some more of the things that we need to do. Like, first of all, it says move off screen to wrap around. Well, we need to go fix that. You can also see that it's still using that simple aesthetic, and if you get caught in between, like, you get destroyed as well. So that's kind of cool. There's nothing too much about that. It does have some mobile controls, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. Although the mobile controls are a little bit trickier, just because you saw something like that right there, right? So, right, and perfect. Okay, so basically that's what we need to do. With that, let's take a look at a few other things. So again, we're going to be doing more of like the coding side, or quote unquote coding side of this first. First things first is let's talk about the screen. Okay, so I'm going to push play. You can see that this the black box around it will there's two things we can do here. The black box will will show up on a device. So, if you're on like an iPhone 10, it might look like this, and if you're on an iPad, it might look like this. And then other phones always have some wonky resolution, but that's the letterbox scale shaping. So what we can do is we can go into one of these levels here, and I believe let's go into. I'm just going to grab this color here. And before we start here, I also have to mention that this tutorial is ad lib, meaning that I'm making most of the stuff on the spot. So you actually get to see like actual development. Our courses are not like this at all. We actually edit them quite a bit. I have a lot of funny stories about things that have happened over the editing of a lot of our courses here. So again, this is supposed to be ad lib. So there's a lot of stuff. There's in game development, lots of stuff happens that's just completely bonkers. So I want to make sure that you understand that, and that if you actually do buy a lot of courses, and I recommend that you do buy Mammoth Interactive courses, that we do edit them, and we actually put quite a bit of effort into polishing our courses. So most people don't understand that, but we do. All right, so let's take a look, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the actual number of this here. So 46, 49, 49. So also, I don't explain everything in these tutorials or these live streams because, well, I just don't. Okay, so that way it looks a little bit better. So the point of these live streams is for me to just show you how development really works. All right, so here we go. Okay, couple of things. Could probably get rid of that rain. So remember, this is based off of I like to call it the engine, but it's based off of Pluvo. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and delete the rain logic altogether. Okay. And in this one, yeah, there we go. I think that looks good. Perfect. The other thing I think I'm going to do is there's a background in there which I might not want. It does kind of clash a bit. All right. Okay, so we got the title screen. We don't have is a good level system. So I'm actually going to make this one more like the 5th level. And I have a template here. So this template looks good. And by the way, you can kind of see that these are the mobile controls, and you push this button to jump or to switch. The mobile controls for Pluvo are pretty good. So I'm going to do that here. Just want to make sure that everything's good. You know what? This needs to move to the GUI layer 2. And we also have 2 tile maps on 2 different layers. And before we copy this, I think this is probably what we want. I'm going to lock that layer. All right, let's duplicate that. Okay, so let's let's make the first level of the game. Okay, so in order to do that, I will kind of put it in there. So we'll make it level 0. Okay, and in level 0, because there's two things we have to kind of do, let's basically make this really easy. Okay, so I could just make it the same as the Pluvos, but I could probably do something a little bit better than that. Let's make it a little bit different. Okay, so let's not do that. Right, something like that. So we got some area to move around. All right, I think this is probably pretty good. And I do have, where is it? The hand. Did I just call it the hand? Yeah, I did just call it the hand. Okay, so, oh, I should also mention, by the way, that, so let's take a look at this here. Yeah. By the way, the hand won't move. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Okay. Excellent. And you know what? As kind of a serendipitous, yeah, I think, look at that. There's a shadow in here, which is technically the next level. Or which is technically, not necessarily the next level, but it's the other tile map, which I aptly named Tile Map 0 and Tile Map 1. So yeah, I think that's probably good for a first level. And we do have that set up here. Use WAS or the arrow keys to move. Perfect, okay. And I think that's looking good. All right, let's duplicate that again. And by the way, okay, so another thing, if you're watching the last one, my Google Drive didn't work, and sometimes you have to clear your memory in order for it to work. So I always download as much as I can. Okay, so in any event, I just want to make sure that everything is good to go here. All right, perfect. Right, just all right, not bad. So let's do this here. We'll see how many we can make, how many levels that is we can make. Let's take a look at this here. So within here we have our second tile layer. So the first level we deal with moving. The second level, let's deal with, again, the same concept, but there'll be death. Okay. So let's just kind of move that in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the second tile layer, and I'm just going to delete this here. Now I think I did offset it. Not sure if that was done on purpose or not, but maybe it's best that we don't offset it. Yeah, it's best that we don't offset it. So let's go back to 0. Although it does look neat. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll make sure nothing's offset here. And we'll switch the templates up in a moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we won't even have the buttons on there. I think that's probably better. And let's lock that up for the moment. And what we're going to do is we're just going to teach the player that you can jump over pits. That's all we're going to teach the player. So jump over a pit, good to go. And you know what? The thing about modern games is that you almost have to baby the person through. Right? And that's, of course, the wrong one. Yeah, we just want this. Perfect. I think we can make it over that. Now, just in testing this, yeah, okay, perfect. All right, now, where is the one? I think it's called, what is it? Sound logic, text logic. Here we go. So within the text logic, we'll say, where is it? Layout 1 will say, well, we don't have to say jump over the pit. Let's say it for nothing now. We'll leave that for the moment. Okay, let's go back to 1 here. And that's all we're going to do. We might as well bring out the death here. And we want to make sure that death is like 10%. I believe that hides automatically. Perfect. Okay. While we're there, I'm actually going to delete this template here. What I'm going to do is just fix everything we do in the template first. Now, normally I do this before. Normally I do this before, but in this case, I'm just going to set this to the player layer. Okay, and that way everything works out. So we have our GUI layer. Now in here, I'm actually going to delete these buttons. And this is, of course, I'm just going to delete them like that. Perfect. Yeah, okay. So, not too bad. Again, you do have to teach people through gaming. Now, what I like about this is that there's a shadow. We don't know what that shadow means yet, but there is a shadow there. I'm actually just going to move that over 1, and there we go. In fact, you know what? Why don't we move this around? There's no reason we have to go left or right. Although in most languages, well, not every language, but a lot of languages read left to right, but some read the opposite way. So that's kind of neat. All right, so let's take a look. So again, you can do everything here and, push space here. And we'll have to switch that up. Okay. That's another thing. Let's move that over, and that's why we test things. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, let's duplicate this. Duplicate it again. And we'll say that this is, I don't know, level 2-ish. I like that. And level 2, now what we'll do is we'll add the concept of the game. So in the first 3 levels, you get what the game's about. So it's going to be challenging, but I like the challenge. If you're a person who likes challenge, running a business is for you, by the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this. So it's impossible to move up, but at the same time, now I think did I work this in such a way that, no, I didn't. Basically, I have to select one or the other. All right, so I'm just going to delete that. Okay, that works for me. And what I'm going to do is, this is actually really, really easy. All we do is we make it so that you just have to jump on there. And I'm not sure if we can make that actually. Yeah, we definitely can't make that. Interesting thought, though. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to jump space, and then that's the tricky part of this game. And that might take a bit more. There we go. So it is possible, albeit barely. Okay. And that shows you, in fact, actually, you know what? That's not a bad one to do, but I just I thought of something better to do. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll call this 3. And, you know, I was watching a CGP Grey video yesterday, and he was talking about writer's block, and I'm the kind of person who doesn't have writer's block. A lot of people do, I don't. Anyway, in the CGP Grey video, he was talking about more creative works lead to more creative works because you get ideas along the way. And that's why I'm a big fan of just getting up and doing something. All right. So let's go back to this template 2. Let's duplicate that, and then we'll call that 2. Move it up here. So CGP Grey was he was saying more creative works equal more creative works, and I totally agree. So like this level here, I just thought of a better idea. So let's think about this better idea. So first of all it is just a straight line. Okay. And normally I would do that, but all we need to do is just that. Perfect. And I'm going to hide this for the moment. And I'm going to select this. And we have to make it the same one, like the same kind of, I believe that's the same one. But all we're going to do is we're going to put a big mound in the middle. Okay, and I think that works. Yeah, so this is the idea that I had, you know, while I was building that other level, just like literally 2 minutes ago. And I think it's a better one. So let's take a look. So kind of move it over here. But, okay, so what we want is this to start off, and then it moves over. Okay, so in fact they should be reversed. So I'm gonna do all that here. So this one we're just going to, again, we're just gonna do that, and the door and this one here, that's where the mound is going to be. In fact, we'll make it, well, a decently big mound. So you're going to have to push it to move over. Just like that. All right. Pretty easy level 2. Okay. Couple other things to note is you can put these random like aesthetic blocks all around. So I can just like maybe put this, you know, here, here. Don't go overboard, of course. But anyway, by doing that, you'll see that, well, it just makes it look a little bit better. Yeah, look at that. And you can do that all at once if you want. And that way it kind of gives more of an idea on how it, you know, how it worked. Okay, so there we go. We got one, and that's not the one. Right, close that. Okay, But of course, we need to go to our text logic here, and we'll say that this is layout 2. And we'll say press space to change platform. In fact, if we really wanted to do, we will say space like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this. And first of all, it's not a mobile device. And we'll say, we'll invert that and say is on mobile device. And we'll say press buttons to change platform. Okay. Let's take a look at this here. And that should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. There we go. So that's kind of neat. Like, you don't even have to do anything. And this tutorial effectively changes everything so that it works here. So now what we should do is, let's go to tile switch logic. Is tile map is false? We need to set that at the beginning. Boolean is tile map is equal to false. So at the start of every layout, we'll have to do that. So let's just go and play the game here. Now, you can see why maybe in some of the other tutorials, yeah, not sure why that's happening. But let's take a look. Weird. I'm not sure why that is. There we go. Okay, so it does indeed work. Okay. Love it. There we go. So we want it to revert. Now I think we might have to up the jump speed just a bit on this. And the jump strength, yeah, I'm gonna make it 450. Now that actually might be too much. Well, let's take a look. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to take that down a bit, maybe 430. Yeah, it's just too small. And is it 3? Yeah, I think it's 3. Let's take a look at this one here. So 3. It's pretty precise. Now there's an extra credits episode about this. Yeah, so like it takes a bit of getting used to, but basically you have to do it within the air. Okay. So yeah, so you have to, there we go. So air, yeah. Let's try that again. Air, air. You know what? Level 3 is a great time. Let's go back to our text logic here. Yeah, no, I don't think we need. For some reason I have that twice. Maybe I just forgot to get rid of it. But we'll say this is layout. What is it, 3? Yeah, layout 3. So let's try that again. So this one perfectly teaches you that you should push R to restart the level. Should you need to. All right. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Okay, there we go. So now we have 3-ish levels. No, I have more than that. All right, let's duplicate that. Let's call this 4. All right. So, 8 people watching now. That's good. Excellent. Don't be afraid to say something. I have it on here, so you can say something if you want. Say hi. All right. Let's take a look at 4. So the most natural thing to do would be to, all right, let's start off. Build a level. Okay, I have an idea. He starts off with an idea first, right? So start off here. We jump up here. We jump not exactly. And we're gonna put the door all the way up here. Okay, the player will start down here, and they'll start in kind of a danger area, or danger zone, if you will. In fact, I'm going to do something. This is going to be one of those levels where it's definitely going to be one of those levels. Yeah. There we go. Let's see if I can make it. Just want to see if I can make it first, and then we'll go on from there. All right, so we can make it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so basically it's going to be kind of the same thing. Okay. You have to move in and out of this here. Let's see. Yeah, I think that probably works. And of course, we're going to have to delete that top here. And there's already a huge problem with this. You'll see what it is in a second, but basically if we were to run this, you wouldn't have the platforms because they, well, frankly, don't exist. So keep that in mind too. All right. So this just gets you used to the, oh, is this going to work? Oh, it barely works. I feel like if I mess around with it, it's going to not work. But basically you have just one area to make this work, and I think that, oh yes, what was that all about? Did I mess that up? Yeah, I think let's just hide that here. All right. Working with these two tile maps is interesting, but let's run that again. We'll see how many I get done today. Now, since I'm familiar enough with the mechanic, what is going on right here? Yeah. Sure. What? There we go. That's the problem. Does that fix it? There we go. Perfect. Let me try this. Now this level again isn't supposed to be too hard, but if you were to do it fast, then it is hard. Right? Yeah. There's something in there. Right. So let's uncheck that. Let's make sure nothing's in there. All right, and I think that's probably good. Okay, so duplicate that here. But before we do, let's go to level 5. Of course, this was the level that was made. Before. So the only thing we need to do is add in that death here. Should be good. All right. And I'll move that to the player layer, I suppose. So this one's pretty standard, not too complicated. You know, you can die just like that. And sweet. All right, so 9 of you are in here. That's awesome, by the way. I like that. Okay. So let's take a look at level 6. Now, I like the idea of jumping up and then jumping up again. In fact, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And basically, we're going to just go in between these two. That. And we're just going to move this up here like this. And going to take the tile set And we're going to move that over here. And I don't like to have spikes on the ground. I just don't think it looks good. Or like, if I were to just kind of leave it like that, I just don't think that looks good. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it on the side just like that here. Okay, perfect. All right. So this way, you're going to have to jump and switch each side. Yes, I like that. Okay, you have to switch each side. So that's not bad. Not a bad level there. Where is the... Yeah, we'll just drag that guy down. And... This is going to cause some issues because, watch this. So basically, we're going to need two... We're going to need two deaths, actually. So we're going to say this is death. And we'll call this death 0. And then duplicate this. And we'll call this death 1. And we'll just put that in for now, and I'll make the code later. Because basically, what you have to do is you have to add in some extra logic to make it work. But essentially, that's it. Yep. Yeah, okay, perfect. Anyway, I think it's pretty good. Now, there's no real rhyme or reason to which colors I want, but this gives an orange color. I think it looks pretty good. Blends with our logo. Actually, yeah, it definitely blends with the logo. All right. So, let's see. That's 6. Awesome. Duplicate that. And while we're here, let's add in death 1 to both of these here. And it's actually serendipitous that they're different sizes. So, okay. Make this 7. Just like that. I haven't thought of a good name for this yet. As you can see, the title screen is just simply like that. But I will, and I'll have to think of what a good one is. So now, of course, I have other options in here, but let's see. Before we even do that, let's be a little bit creative here. So. Move that door down here. And what we'll do to start is we will just do that. That's the wrong one. All right. So basically, you will fall to your death if you don't hit it in time. So that's good. It's a little cheap though. I think it could work. Okay, yeah, that works for me. You can do that all day. Let's see. Cool. Remember, if you're watching, go ahead and say something. Okay, that's not a bad idea. Okay. Kind of see where I'm going with this. Something like that. I don't think that's going to work. Okay, I think I got that. Hmm. Yeah. That's not the one I wanted to take rid of. That's the one. Right, and okay, I think that's what the level's going to be. You could probably add in some more hazards. Yeah. So this will tell you that, oh, you can actually make that. Barely, though. I don't think anyone would be able to make. Let's see. Yeah, so you can just barely make that. Most people are going to do that. So it does kind of give you a handicap. And that's too difficult to do. There we go. Run it again. Perfect. Yeah. Yes, okay. Same issue there. All right. Perfect. Not bad. But that top layer causes a problem. Right? Nice. Okay. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay. So, what up next? Okay, so there's lots of other kind of items we can add in here. There's like a launcher. There's the Goomba, the invincible Goomba. There's a bunch of things that we can do. But for now, let's see if we can make as many levels as we can without using anything else, right? And I think I'm going to do this over multiple days. Cool. I also need a name for this, which I don't have. Name. The old switcheroo. No, that's not a good name for it at all. All right. Well, that's not a bad idea. It has to be on the right one. Right one. Okay. Okay. Now, unlike the last game, there's nothing you have to actually get in this one. So let's run that here. So I have an idea. So if we want to get up there, maybe we'll start down here. But the question is, can we get there? I think we can't. Yeah, that's way too easy. So what we need to do is obviously put this like way up here. Yeah, I might as well get rid of that. So basically, what we'll also do is add in some spikes. That. I think that will work. Okay. Only problem. Yeah, okay. So obviously a little bit more testing is going to have to be done. I think I know what the problem is. It's something that's really weird. So in order for me to like when you get caught within, you have to be on the floor. Now there's probably a better way to do that, but my way is way easier, and I always take the easiest possible road. Okay, so at the end of the day, this level isn't that hard. So there's probably a way to do it with math, and a way to do it that there's probably a way to do it with math, and there's probably a way to. I'm just gonna do that here. Yeah, okay, there we go. So there's a way to do it with math, and that way involves calculating the area of each tile map. So it's not like it's difficult to do, but my way is a lot simpler. And I found that because Construct 3 is a more sprite-based, that sometimes the math equations don't always end up working the way you'd want them to. So one thing that I do is I take stuff that's from like Unity, for instance, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move this over here. I take kind of math equations from Unity and try to put them into Construct. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it's kind of bug related. So yeah, it's a pretty good level. I like this. Yeah. All right. Good job. Haven't saved it in a while, so let's go ahead and let's do that. And of course, I always like to save them in prototype batches, P0, etc. Let's download a copy of that. I'm not sure why I need to run it again. One thing I do need to do, however, is what? Is seriously on the GUI level? That was odd. There we go. Basically, we need to add in that other death logic here. Okay. Perfect. Next level. All right. And remember, lights out, you could always do this. But in this case, it won't work yet. We can have the reveal in there, but in fact, that actually isn't that bad of an idea. So the idea that you fall. So let's do that. Let's test that out. All right. So we fall, and then there has to be, okay, kind of like that. Then you have to move your way back up. Okay, so if we run this here, yeah. It's kind of annoying. So okay. Which layer are we on? Okay, perfect. And we're probably gonna have to do that as well. Well, that's going to be interesting. Very interesting. If I can just click these. Yes, I can. It's probably a little bit more efficient. You always want to make sure that you are doing the most efficient thing possible. So let's... Tile map 0 is supposed to be the foreground one. So let's do that. Did I lock it? Is that why it's not working? Yes. And well, for some reason that didn't work the way I'd like it to. So there we go. Perfect. So that way you can't kind of get out the way you want it to. Right, and then you have to drop down below. Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay. So if he jumps up here, so he jumps up here, then it has to be here, and then there. All right. And this guy has to go, yeah. Yeah, that's not too much. Here, here, here. That's not a bad idea, actually. Let's take a look at that. Take a look. Okay. Huh. take a look at this here. So we got. And then you could just kind of weasel your way in there. See, the problem is, oh boy, that's difficult, is that there's no like concrete, like absolutely, okay. Ooh, that's difficult. Problem is there's no concrete walls, of course. Okay. Yeah, okay. And you can just fall in again. Okay, so I guess you don't need that top one. But then again, you can just move away. So, not quite what we're looking for. All right. This needs to go. And which one is it that, Yeah, so it's this one here. Okay, that's what I thought. Let's see. Perfect. Let's take a look at that again. Yeah, so I can't get out. But I do need one here, obviously. And if I'm going to be creative about it, I could even just do that. And that. And you can't go too fast. All right, and then one. Oh, okay, that's so funny. So, yeah, let's. This level's taken quite a bit of time. Not to be. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at that. So this one we go up and down. So these games tend to be really difficult, and I don't think they're unfair difficult, because I go and test them, and I'm not the best gamer in the world, so I know I can get up there. So let's move this kind of here. All right. This is one thing that will help you out when you're testing. All right, and yeah, okay, I get the idea. So we'll just switch this up here. And yeah, perfect. I think that fixes the problem. There we go. Perfect. Obviously, that's not the end of the level. So, what were we to do? If we were to do that again, we would probably do the same thing. Yeah, I'm thinking so. 1. Okay. Let's test this out. Yeah, keep that guy there. Okay. I think that's probably what we're looking for. Oh, that's so tricky. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah. I'm liking this. Which one are we on here? Okay, we're on that one. Okay, I think that probably works. And okay. So let's almost, I think we're almost there here. So, right. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at that. Boop, boop, boop. Not quite. Oh, that's so hard. Yeah. Now, surprisingly, these mechanics aren't quote unquote cheap. Like, they. Okay, that obviously does not work. I mean, they're not unfair by any stretch of the imagination. So when things happen, they happen kind of for a reason. Well, they happen because, you know, basically you as the player messes up. And that's the hallmark of good game design, by the way. You know, that one case, I jumped too far. I got to watch my step, right? And maybe because of that Wile E. Coyote mechanics, might feel a little bit cheap. I should do like a whole live stream just on that. There we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay, I think that's gonna work. Yeah, I think that's gonna work right there. Okay, so this is an interesting level. So if we go back to the beginning, right? We gotta put it in the air. Yeah, so if we go back to the beginning, right? One thing I'm impressed at is, you know, how easy it is to make a game now. That's why I put out the Construct 3 course. But anyway, I know I can do that, so there we go. All right, let's save it here. And I think that's going to be it for today. Yeah, I think that's just it for today. I'll be back tomorrow, roughly around the same time. That's 1 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm just going to save it. And I'm going to download a copy of this. All right. I'm going to think about this overnight. See what I come back with tomorrow here. But you know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we made 10 levels today in about an hour and 15 minutes. All right, so that's interesting. So 6 minutes a level, not too bad ish. Maybe less, maybe a little bit more. So more than that. I did spend quite a bit of time talking about stuff. But anyway, please back this project here on Kickstarter. It is going to be a very good project once we're done with it. All right. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you tomorrow. So we'll be continuing with this game tomorrow. See you then.